up, guys? My name's Bob Ross, and today we're going to be looking at some literary sources. Hello there, welcome back to my channel. This is Lighter Taylor, and today we're going to be looking at some literary sources for the Imperial Image of Classical Civilization OCR. What you see here is my desk, and on it we have Divi Filus, Imperator, Augustus, Culture Hero, Pater Patriae, Legacy, and some non-prescribed sources. Today we're going to be looking at Divi Filus, so let's pop that right here and let's get stuck in. So the first literary source is Drusus and the Claudians by Horace, which was written in 13 BC. It says, their race still strong despite the burning of Troy brought their children sacred icons and aged fathers. Now this references the founding myth where the Romans are descended from the Trojans, obviously the Trojan War, the Trojans lost, and Aeneas and the Trojan refugees had to seek a new home, and they found it as Alba Longa in Italy. The second part says, drowned in the deep it emerges lovelier, contend it defeats the freshest opponent, great glory, and wages war that the housewives will tell of in story. Now obviously this references family and links back to Augustus being the son of the god, as it speaks about children and fathers. The second source is Ode to Augustus by Horace, again 13 BC. On working days and the same on holy days, among laughter-loving Bacchus's gifts to us, with our wives and children will pray, at first to the gods, in the rites laid down, then in the manner of our fathers bravely in verse, that's accompanied by Lydian flutes, will sing past leaders, will sing of Troy, Anchises, and the people of Venus. Again, this references the Trojan ancestors who descend from Venus. Venus and Anchises had Aeneas, who then had Ascanius, who was technically the second king of Alba Longa. The third source is the Carmen Seculari by Horace again, but this time in 17 BC. If Rome is your doing, and if far from Ilium came that band of people who reached the Tuscan shore, those for whom pious Aeneas, the survivor, who passed without injury through the flames of Troy, prepared a path to freedom destined to grant him much more than he'd lost. Children and wealth to the people of Romulus, and even glory, whatever a noble descendant of Venus and Anchises, as with a white steer's sacrifice, let him obtain, a winner in war, merciful to our fallen foe. Once more, this references the Trojan ancestors, anything that mentions Troy or Aeneas, in this case even Romulus, we can date back to Venus and Anchises have Aeneas, and Aeneas has Ascanius, and Ascanius spawns the Roman race and therefore links Augustus to being semi-divine and later on the son of a god, and therefore demi-divine, half-divine. The next one is War and Peace by Propertius from 20 BC. May Venus herself protect your children, let it be eternal, this head that survives from Aeneas's line. Let the prize go to those who earn it by their efforts. It's enough for me, I can cheer them on their sacred way. I mean, I don't even need to explain this one. Again, it's mentioned Venus and Aeneas, Augustus's divine ancestors. The next one is Temple of Palatine Apollo by Propertius, 16 BC. O Augustus, world deliverer, sprung from Alba Longa, acknowledged as greater than your Trojan ancestors, conquered now by sea. My bow is on your side, and even arrow burdening my quiver favours you. I declare the moment I lead the Julian prows with laurelled hand. After his bow shot, Caesar's javelin was next. But Caesar, his father, marvelled and spoke from his comet released by Venus. I am a god, and this shows evidence of my race. Once more, it's mentioning the Trojan ancestors and Venus, but this time it's actually directly mentioning Caesar, who is at this point deified. He was deified in 42 BC, and this is directly referencing the fact that Augustus in the Battle of Actium had the gods behind him, and Caesar, as I said, is deified, and that makes him the son of a god. Divi Filus. The next source is Metamorphoses by Ovid in 8 AD. This is the part about the deification of Julius Caesar. Caesar is a god in his own city, outstanding in war or peace. It was not so much his wars that ended in great victories, or his actions at home, or his swiftly won fame, that set him among the stars, a fiery comet, his descendant. There is no greater achievement among Caesar's actions than he stood father to our emperor. You and Augustus, his son, will ensure that he ascends to heaven as a god. So this is again mentioning the fact that Caesar was deified in 42 BC, and Augustus promised that would happen, and a comet flew over the games, and that set off the whole process of deification. And this is the exact moment that Augustus takes control, and he goes, you know what, my dad was a god, so now I'm the son of a god. The next source is again Metamorphoses, but this is the part of the celebration of Augustus. He had barely finished when gentle Venus stood in the midst of the Senate, seen by no one, and took up the newly freed spirit of her Caesar from his body, and preventing it from vanishing into thin air, carried it towards the glorious stars. As she carried it, she felt it glow and take fire, and loosed it from her breast. It climbed higher than the moon, and drawing behind it a fiery tail, shone as a star. Seeing his son's good works, Caesar acknowledges they are greater than his own, and delights in being surpassed by him. When Augustus rises to heaven, leaving the world he rules, and there far off shall listen with favour to our prayers. Just reiterating what I said in the previous Metamorphoses, this is Caesar being deified, and the exact moment where Augustus becomes Divi Filus, he becomes the son of a god, and he uses that very much to his advantage. The next source is The Lives of the 12 Caesars by Suetonius, which was written in 121 AD. Suetonius was actually a friend of Hadrian, if you know Hadrian's Wall, and they were really good friends. They were really close. Therefore, Suetonius had access to private files and letters and really reliable documents. So it's really unlikely that whatever Suetonius writes is propaganda. It's not generally biased in any way. Later, he adopted the name Gaius Caesar to comply with his great uncle Julius Caesar's will. Augustus was a more original and honourable title because sacred sites and anything consecrated by the augurs are called Augusta. Now, at this point, Augustus is Divi Filus. He is son of a god, and he's completing Caesar's will pretty much to the letter. He's giving out money to the plebeians, and he goes after Antony. He goes after the assassins, and the name Augustus that he's given literally consecrates him. He literally makes himself holy, and therefore enforcing this idea that he's a holy, godly guy. Now, the last literary source we have is again Suetonius' Lives of the 12 Caesars. This one was Augustus 95, so this was near the end of his study of Augustus. On his return from Apollonia in 44 BC, after Caesar's assassination, a halo formed around the sun's disk as he entered the city, even though the sky seemed bright and cloudless, and suddenly a lightning bolt struck the tomb of Caesar's daughter, Julia. Now, this makes it seem to the people at the time that Augustus is not lying about what he's saying. He is very much the son of a god. The lightning strikes Julia's tomb. It's all very spooky, all very holy, and people will have believed, even Augustus himself probably would have believed that this was a sign from the gods. They were telling everyone that Augustus, he was the one, he was the chosen one. He is Divi Filus. So that is all for the imperial image prescribed literary sources. I will be doing follow-up videos on Imperator and Culture Hero and Augustus and all that, so stay tuned for those. And if you haven't watched already, go and see my 34-minute video on the structures prescribed sources. And with that, have a good day, and thanks for watching.